Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Estiloz with the Spiel on Entertainment, and I'm here with Danielle Macdonald to talk about her delightful new romantic comedy, Falling for Figaro. Danielle, it's a pleasure to chat with you.
Hi, you too.
Tell us about this film. I loved it. I really enjoyed every bit of this. I was watching it last night. Tell our audience what the main storyline is about.
Um, Falling for Figaro is a romantic comedy that involves a lot of opera singing. Honestly, I
In
kind
a
of just describe
nutshell.
it, yeah, as an operatic rom-com, but in kind of the best way. It's heartwarming and it's funny and it's quirky and it's just a little bit different than your typical rom-com, which was a lot of fun.
One of the things I enjoyed about this film is that it's a film about sort of following your passion, even though you have to make some personal sacrifices along the way. What is it about this film, and particularly your character, that appealed to you the most?
Honestly, when I read it, I just thought that the writing was really different and interesting. Like some of the dialogue, I was like, I wouldn't even begin to know how to say this. Like, how does this come out of one's mouth? And it was because it was so quirky and situational, which was so fun to get to play into because you have to find the tone of the film. And that's really what drew me in. And I just love the idea of following your dreams at any age, at any stage in your life, no matter what, because you're trying to find your happiness and your passion. I love that.
Well, what I found interesting about this film is that your character in it takes a leap of faith to follow her dream, to pursue that dream. And at the age of 18, you pretty much did the same thing, where you left your native Australia to come to the United States, to Hollywood, to pursue your dream of acting. What was that like for you?
Um, I honestly, it's so funny because when you're 18, I think that everything, while it seems scary, you also are just ready for anything. You're like, I'm ready to take on the world. So I think now it would be actually a lot harder to make that move that I did at 18. At 18, it didn't seem like a huge deal. And now I'm like, that was a pretty huge deal. But it honestly, it was just one of those things where I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I absolutely loved acting, and I got opportunities out here, and so it seemed so normal to me that that's exactly what I would do. And I think that's the fun thing about dreams. It might seem absolutely insane to everyone else, but to you, you're like, yes, that A plus B is C kind of thing. It makes so much sense.
Yeah, and people have that fear of making that leap, of maybe changing their life and maybe taking the wrong step. Wouldn't you agree?
I definitely do. I definitely do. And then I think that once you actually do it, it's you kind of realize, oh, maybe it wasn't you build it up in your head, before you actually do something. You always build it up in your head. And if you let yourself build it up long enough, you might never actually do it. And I mean, I definitely build things up in my head. And then in this industry, a lot of the time, it's just like, okay, go. And so it honestly helps because I'm like, oh, okay, I know I'm building it up in my head and I can actually do this. Like, even though I've never done this before and it's absolutely terrifying, I can do this. And I think that even if you fail in whatever way that you're terrified of failing, you will discover yourself along the way. You will discover more about yourself, what you love and what you want to do along the way. So
One of the things that makes this film effective is that there's some great comedic moments. I like the subtlety of some of the comedic moments, though there is an exception of the tongue-tied moment with your co-star Joanna Lumley. What was it like working with her?
she is so much fun. She's just brilliant. She's so on it. She's so good. She's just there's never a dull moment. I absolutely loved working with the entire cast. Honestly, everyone was amazing, and the crew, everyone was incredible. It was such a fun time, such an easy shoot because of that. And that scene, honestly, I've spoken to some friends and they're like, oh, we've had some weird stuff happen to us when we were training. So it might seem insane, but honestly, I've heard some even more insane stories about awkward singing coaches. And I was like, okay, then I'll take it. I'll buy it.
Final quick question for you. In this movie, there's a lot of singing involved. I'm assuming you didn't do the opera singing, but all of us like to sing in the car or in the shower. So when you're driving along the road, what kind of song is your main jam to sing to?
Oh my gosh. It depends on the mood I'm in. It's either like 80s, like rock, which I absolutely like, pop rock, which is so much fun to belt out, or little musical theater, never is a bad situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like, or like 2000s like angsty rock. They're kind of like the three very different things that I love to break out to in the car for sure.
Yeah, for me, just before this interview started, there was a news story about the UK took a poll, and Bohemian Rhapsody is the number one song for in the car. So I'm headbanging.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's never not a jam. You know what I mean? You have to sing it the moment it comes on, without a doubt.
Well, it was a pleasure to chat with you, Danielle. I loved this film. I'm looking forward to telling more and more people about it.
Thank you. It was great talking to you too.